All right, we're back here for round 2 of Modern Test Day, battling some really close matchups in the format to see who comes out on top. First round, we had Bant Spirits against Humans. You thought Humans was at a disadvantage simply because you were able to, as the Spirits player, to dictate the pace of the game and your creatures had evasion.
Didn't play out that way in the games that we played on camera. It played out more that way in the games we played off camera.
It's almost like I turn it on when we're playing on camera.
The Humans deck is a little bit lower to the ground, so you get to dictate if you come out really quickly, and that's what happened. I don't think Spirits has a huge edge. I do think the matchup is quite close. But you saw the way the games played out where if the Humans deck gets ahead, like Mighty Spellcrawler becomes a liability, you're able to have the Reflector Mage for it both times, and so it didn't really do anything. I wasn't really able to get Lords established, so your creatures are generally bigger one-on-one. Mm-hmm. I need to get a lot of creatures in the battlefield, not a Lord, so I can compete in combat, and if I'm not able to assemble those things, then the Humans deck is going to end the game before I can really recover.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. And I think there are small points where a single piece of disruption can keep you off a Collected Company, or sometimes a Reflector Mage keeps you off of hitting your third mana, let alone fourth mana sometimes. And that can really swing games in the Humans player's favor. Reflector Mage, we talked about how big of an impact it had from both sides, but I think in the Humans version specifically, it is a card that if you draw it, you're in the matchup, your draw is going to be significantly better than without, simply because you can't race in the air. All you have is Mana Strider, and that's it. But everything that the Spirits deck plays flies. And if you just don't have that one point of interaction on the battlefield, you can draw a bunch of Thalias and Meddling Mages and things like that, and sometimes they just do nothing. But a single Reflector Mage will almost always do something really powerful.
Yep. And your Reflector Mages were quite powerful, and we're able to take that one down. Now we move into a matchup that used to be heavily in your side's favor, but is now much closer.
Yeah, so I played quite a bit of Dredge like a year and a half ago. How long ago was it when you won the Open in Syracuse?
A little over 2 years ago.
So a little over 2 years ago. That was when I was playing a lot of Dredge. And I played against Tron 2 times in the first 3 rounds of that tournament, and I lost both of them. And then I thought, well, Dredge sucks. And then you went on and won the tournament. So,
Tron was one of my 2 losses in that tournament.
Well, there you go. And I think a lot of that had to do with not only the main deck Relic of Progenitus, but the deck also just didn't have a way to really close the game out without attacking. And so a card like an Ugin the Spirit Dragon was ultimately a little too much for it to deal with. Even a Worm Coil Engine would sometimes just end the game on the spot because of the huge points of life swing. In tandem with things like Oblivion Stone and the like.
Yeah, Oblivion Stone bought a lot of time, worked well with Relic.
Yeah.
Whereas most sweepers don't really do much against Dredge. The fact that you can O-Stone for 5 mana, usually have 1 mana up and pop a Relic, that setup is really nice. Because I'm milling over a lot of my deck from the Dredge side, Ulamog is usually a one-shot kill.
Yes. And I think all those combined with the sheer fact that Tron was a deck that could very easily steal game 1 against a deck that was pretty soft to sideboard cards, was a pretty big deal. Now, the Dredge decks are a little bit more about finesse. You have multiple angles of attack with things like Conflagrate and Creeping Chill. You can sometimes just burn your opponent out. You also just have a sideboard that is very well prepared to deal with all of the format's anti-graveyard disruption, whether it's Grafdigger's Cage, some weird creature-based thing, or even Leyline of the Void. You have a bunch of answers to all these cards. It just, you basically every week you just build your sideboard in such a way where you handle the ones that people are playing more than the others.
Yeah. The big thing was that Creeping Chill gave you back some of the speed. I think the Tron matchup was fine when Golgari Grave Troll was around because you just killed them on turn 4 a lot. And so if they didn't assemble Tron until turn 4, they were really behind the 8 ball. Or if they were on the draw, they might just be dead or be dead to Conflagrate after clearing your battlefield. Mm-hmm. Then when Grave Troll went down, the Dredge deck really didn't kill you till turn 5 or so. It gave the Tron deck enough time to assemble, find its pieces, maybe use Karn to buy some time because usually that's their worst threat, and then find some of their more impactful threats. Now Creeping Chill gives you a way to finish the games because you usually only get 1 or 2 attacks in. So you get them to 9 or so, you probably get a chill or 2 that gets them in conflict range, and so the matchup has turned around significantly. So it's going to be a pretty big race in game 1 before I get to bring in some disruption. Todd's going to mulligan aggressively probably to find an early Tron, and we'll see how it goes.
All right, well, before we get to questions, which I do want to do, let's see if either of us have to mulligan, because that'll be a great time for Brad to ask us questions if we're mulliganing.
Oh, yeah, I've got
both decks that
so
mulligan
many
quite
questions.
a bit. I will not be mulliganing this hand. This hand is quite good.
Well, okay. Are we playing like I know the matchup or not? Because I have this and lands, but my hand is not very good.
Yes, you should always play straight up. Okay,
Fine.
Here's a good statement of testing. No, you should play straight up, like you know the matchup.
You know.
Oh,
if you
straight up is okay.
All right, we call it straight up. So here is a good testing lesson for anyone. I played on pro testing teams for 10 years now. 2 weeks of hard, a lot of preparation for big events, sitting in houses, and the best way that I've learned to test is you know everything. You know everything about the matchup, because the thing is sure, round 1, everything's blind in a tournament, but then when you're playing a win and in, or you're playing in top 8, or you're playing like later in day 2, there's a good chance that you do know your opponent's deck.
Sure.
These things happen. And so it's better to just know, to have both players fight as hard as possible to actually see how the conclusions come out.
Yeah. Train with some weights on.
Questions?
Yep. All right. I've got a question from iHeartStandard 86. iHeartStandard 86 asks the question: how many Snapcaster mages should be in Jeskai control? Should it be 2 or 3? Because there's 2 Serum Visions and 2 Hieroglyphics right now, and they don't really interact that well with the Hieroglyphic cantrips.
Hold on. This person's screen name is iHeartStandard, and they're asking a question about Modern.
No, it's iHeartStandard 86.
Yeah, but they're asking a question about Modern.
Yeah.
Okay. Brad, let me ask you a question before I get to this one.
Sure.
How old are you?
I am 32 years old.
And it's 2018
Correct.
right now, so
Correct,
-2, 2016.
Unless he's born in December.
Carried the 1. So you were born in 1986.
Yes, May 21st of 86.
Huh. Interesting.
Wait,
Okay.
aren't you known for liking Standard?
A common misconception. I'm not the biggest fan of Standard. I'm just really good at it.
Okay. As for a Snapcaster Mage in Jeskai control, I was always under the impression that it was like one of their best cards.
Yeah, if you're not playing 4, why the heck are you playing the deck?
I guess now that they're on Illumination, it's definitely worse. Also, I've been a fan of Opt over Serum Visions in every Snapcaster control deck for months now. I wrote an entire article about it like 5 months ago. So I don't know why you're playing Serum Visions instead of Opt.
Well, you're just wrong on that, but that's fine. Well, sorry, I heard Standard 86 said you're wrong.
Oh, okay.
Quick response.
So I would generally play as many Snapcasters as I can get. I know, I think it was LSV and Venice have championed a list that cut down on Snapcaster and played more Illuminations. Maybe that's cool. I'm not Snapcaster and Lightning Bolt are basically my favorite part of playing control decks. That's why one of the reasons I like playing Blue Moon.
I think Illumination is just better when I think like you can play a version that has Blue White, I think could play like 4 Illumination, 4 Opt and no Snapcasters, and I think that'd be okay. But if you're playing the card Lightning Bolt in your deck and you're also playing blue and you're not playing 4 copies of Snapcaster Mage, what are you doing?
Well, I'll answer this question for iHeartStandard 86.
Sure.
Well, they play a lot of Rest in Pieces now on the sideboard, so they want better sideboard options. But
go back to
Hot Toasted Buns just subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you.
And how do you like your hot dog buns, Brad?
I like my hot dog buns toasted.
Huh.
Or do you also like them hot?
That's usually what happens when you toast buns, right? They get hot.
Yes.
Huh.
Okay, my hand is great. I went back to 6 because Ross mulliganed to 6 earlier today.
All right. Speaking of hot dogs, real quick, I have one more statement just for the chat. I just saw this recently, and it's one of my favorite SNL sketches of all time. Sorry to promote SNL here, but there is a hot dog sketch
Can we not
that is worth
this?
watching.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not even.
My fiance and I just keep
good.
making these jokes, and I want to make it right now, but it would be inappropriate. So
Family
you should
show,
just go.
Brad.
Yes.
All right.
I'll
Go
take
watch
odd again.
Yeah. You always get odd. You win. You got it. I'm gonna scry.
Okay.
It's another power plant. I don't think I want another power plant.
Okay. I'm going to go to 17 for a Stomping Ground and play Shriekhorn.
Nice. Okay.
Pass the turn.
All right. We drew another redundant piece. Your turn.
Okay, second main, Shriekhorn myself.
Yeah, and why are you doing that on second main phase, Ross?
Because if I hit the exact combination Narcomoeba Prized Amalgam, then the Amalgam will enter on Todd's end step and be able to attack on my turn.
If you do it during the end step, when does it come in?
On my end step.
Yeah, so the
Which
whole
is
turn later. It
less
doesn't get to
good.
attack.
Okay, Conflagrate and Bloodghast, not bad, not
Yeah,
bad.
that's great. That's
We're
a good start.
Looking for a Dredger here on the upkeep, so I'll untap and upkeep Shriekhorn myself. Dredger, please. Another Bloodghast and an Narcomoeba.
I'm gonna do my graveyard like Ross does his.
Okay, so let's resolve that Narcomoeba trigger, and then I guess I'll take a natural draw, and
Land, get back 2 blood guys. Configurate you for 5. Put you to 15. Am I pretty close? Or are you going bananas?
I don't think this is going to do a whole lot this turn, especially because I'm going to have to return my Bloodghasts to utilize it. So I think I'm actually going to Shriekhorn. Let's mill myself before I do anything in case I hit an Amalgam. Well, now I feel stupid.
Cathartic?
So I will play a mountain, return these Bloodghasts, and pass the turn.
Okay. Draw. Pop this for a green. My graveyard's down here, just like Ross's. Synergy. Okay, perfect. Perfect. We're
Ooh,
doing it.
Tron
Yeah, so this is
pieces.
fine, right? So this is a thing that people think is okay to be able to do. But from both sides. I just want to point that out. But, the thing that I want to do is too powerful. Just,
Yes,
know.
the thing you want to do beats these 2 decks up bad.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, look at this board. Wouldn't it be a shame if I got to sideboard 4 Anger of the Gods because my combo is only like 10 cards?
Okay, so I'll go to my...
Shut up, bro.
I'm going to dredge the Imp before using Shriekhorn here because it's the best dredger this turn anyway, and I can be more selective with how I
Ow.
use them.
Ow!
Okay, we got 2 Creeping Chills now.
Wow, 14 to 23.
It's getting
that
cold in
is-
here.
That's where the power of Creeping Chill actually comes into play in this matchup because, like, if I was still at 20 here, the Conflagrate wouldn't be very scary. The Bloodghast, they'd be attacking me this turn, but if I was able to sweep them, they wouldn't be coming back, like, super
Okay.
quick.
So now we'll Cathartic, discarding 2 more Dredgers, and get well into our deck. That's 5. Now we have a Loam. And another Loam.
got a little cold. There you go.
Okay, that was a pretty good last one. Let's trigger this other Creeping Chill.
All right, 11.
And trigger these 2 Narcomoebas,
Here's
which
26.
triggers 3 Amalgams.
Great.
I don't think there's any need to use the Shriekhorns. I'm putting a ton of pressure on the battlefield, so
Target me.
I'm just going to hold these up. So you're at 11, and I'm at 26.
Sure.
I
Attack
will
for 5.
attack you for 5.
I'm at 6.
Brings you to
Hey, I got no
6.
outs. I got no outs over here.
Let's play a Gemstone Mine.
Hey,
And end step, get 3 Amalgams, and
I got no outs over here.
you can go.
What's that? No outs? Weird. I have a Wormcoil engine. Does that do anything?
Nope.
Okay, great.
So here I can even if
That was
Wormcoil.
fun. This is just good, clean magic that doesn't deserve to be banned at all.
Even if Wormcoil blanked to my entire battlefield here, with Todd at 6, I'd be able to dredge a life from the loam, pay 3 mana, return 3 lands to my hand, play another land, and have exactly 6 cards in my hand.
I want the camera on my face right now, please.
I came over to make a joke of like,
Please.
oh, it's getting a little cold in here, and I gave him my sweatshirt. And then I came back and looked at the computer, and I was like, that's a lot of creatures in play.
Yeah.
I missed things.
Just want to point this out. This is what people are allowed to do. Okay. I had a turn 3 Wormcoil engine. Was not even remotely close to doing anything.
Todd, we're here to showcase the decks that exist now. You can write an article about this later. Talk to Cedric.
No one wants to hear me say it again. I've written like 5 articles about
Well,
it.
but no one wants to hear it all day today. We're enjoying today. We're giving Ross.
We just had like a half
We're
hour
giving Ross
conversation
his
about
moment
it.
with Golgari. Ross, are you enjoying your moment with or not? Did I say Golgari?
Yeah,
I meant Dredge.
it has green and black in it.
Yeah.
The thing is, imagine that game without Creeping Chill. Todd's at 15, and I'm at 17.
Yeah, and I have a warm cool engine. I'm at 15.
Yeah, you get to
And I get to survive a turn and then do stuff.
and then try to Ugin me.
Okay, you got any
Or
questions?
play another
'Cause
Worm Coil,
clearly-
or O-Stone to buy time for a turn, or Relic to get rid of my Conflagrate. Like that extra turn is really big.
Ooh, I like
Okay.
this question, and it has nothing to do with either of these decks.
Cool.
This is a good one. F. Barkles asks, I understand that you and Todd prefer to go out to eat when you watch Alabama games. What are both of your preferred chicken wing flavors?
Hermanaki is mine.
I like dry rubs, like Chipotle or something.
I'll say this. Hermanaki is not a real flavor. It is, but it's not. Like, you can't just get it.
Yeah.
There's a place in Indianapolis that's very, very good.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Those are
the
decent
Ale
wings.
Emporium.
Do you know
has
what? Do you know
twice
the
cooked
best like
grilled wings.
tier 1 wings? Outback Steakhouse.
They do have good wings. at
It's
Outback, I'll
weird.
say
You
that.
wouldn't think that they would have like the
I'm
best
gonna do
wings.
your stuff to you.
If anyone in chat doesn't believe me, go do an Outback Steakhouse, and they actually have really good wings. No TVs to watch the games though.
I won't. No, their wings are good. They have a really good seasoning. Like the same. They put the same season on the wings that go on the bloomin' onion. So if you've had the bloomin' onion, you know what the wings taste like, and it's delicious. Okay. Questions or more comments?
There's a little bit more conversation about Phoenix, but we will be getting to that for our third video today.
Yeah,
we're
we're
playing
saving that
Grixis
one.
Phoenix. We're saving everything about that. But no, it's a lot of salt.
Good.
There's a lot of Todd salt and a lot of new Todd emotes.
Oh, we got. Oh yeah, I forgot to upload them this morning. Ha! Nice.
Yeah, there's a decent amount of Todd emotes and a lot of salt.
Nice. All right. Well, we're gonna take a 3-minute break here. I apologize. The games are gonna be quick. That's just modern. We're gonna be right back. You had how much power in play, and you had drained me for 9 with a creeping chill. And what? I still don't even understand what you want. All right. I was told. Sorry, we're back. We're live. This is a live show. I was told that the director came back a little too early, and you heard me yelling at Ross. I'm sorry. Let's move
It's
on.
also a family show, Todd.
Yes.
You know, I guess
We cut it off before it got too bad. Don't worry.
Everyone's okay. We don't.
Well, I'll be okay. I'll
Yeah.
just have something new to talk with my therapist about.
Okay, so let's move the camera down here so we can see how we're going to be sideboarding here for the Mono Green Tron versus Dredge matchup. I'll start since I lost game 1. I'll be on the play for game 2. Karn Liberated. Not really good when the opponent's going super wide. You don't care about losing cards in your hand because they're usually redundant extra things that don't matter. Creatures that you're dredging back that you don't actually care about casting. And the minus being able to only take care of 1 creature, just not really what you want to be doing. Ugin can sweep, that's great. Oblivion Stone can sweep, and if you pair that with something like Grafdigger's Cage as a follow-up, or Relic of Progenitus, that can actually take care of basically your entire side of the battlefield, which is great. Card I'm not excited about in this matchup is Walking Ballista. I'm leaving 1 in the deck to be able to 2-4 with a Sanctum of Ugin if it comes to that. And we're going to be boarding in some things that basically let us survive longer. Thragtusk gains us some life, can block, one of his early creatures and kind of buy me enough time to find one of my big hay cards or one of my big haymakers. 2 Surgical Attraction and a Grafdigger's Cage complement the Relic of Progenitus in the main deck. And then I'm going to bring in an Emrakul of Promising because I haven't gotten to cast it yet. And it seems like it'd be a lot of fun. And if I take Ross's turn, he's playing Dredge, I just get to burn him out. With his own stuff. It's great.
That would be really funny.
Yeah.
On my side, I'm really struggling if I want to bring in this trophy. The Damping Sphere is obviously great. Ancient Grudge is quite good in this matchup, especially in combination with Damping Sphere when Grudge can tag an Oblivion Stone. This is also just very good against Worm Coil Engine. I like the Thoughtseize, generally stopping Tron strats before they enter the battlefield. That's what you want to do. Ugin and Ulamog, super powerful. The trophy does give us another out, like the 1 Grafdigger's Cage, which is problematic, and lets us kill an Ugin that gets cast, which is kind of nice, but you just can't cut too many cards, especially in this matchup where you do want to race. If you've seen me play Dredge on here before, you've seen that I kind of just trim across the board because you need to keep the ratios intact. So we're down 1 Dredger, we're down 1 Bloodghast, we're down 1 Chill, and we're down a couple Shriekhorns. So just sort of trim down on everything and draw things in the right proportion.
I will say in this matchup, cards like Assassin's Trophy have this weird secret added value, and that if your opponent has a Wormcoil Engine on the battlefield, a lot of times you can attack with all your stuff and then use something to either kill the creature being blocked or kill the Wormcoil after it's blocked, and that'll prevent it from actually gaining the 6 life. And a lot of times that just ends up in lethal if your draw is fast enough. Assassin's Trophy, I think, only targets opposing stuff, so you can't you can kill the Wormcoil before it deals damage, and it can only block one thing, but you can't kill your own thing.
Yeah, but that is relevant, and I have done that with Grudge a fair amount.
Yeah, same.
I just don't want to cut too much into my core.
Mm-hmm.
Got a question over there, Bradley?
Well, we got Statement Frozine with the Twitch Prime sub for 3 months in a row. Thank you so much, Frozine. Also, MTG MIA Ta says, how do you feel about Titan Shift in the format right now?
It's better than it has been, but I don't think Titan Shift is a particularly good deck in a general sense. So the fact that it's better than it has been or is well positioned is only making up for its natural deficit in terms of power level. And I still would not recommend playing.
All right, Carmen Owens says, why is Dredge the best deck in Modern?
I don't think Dredge is the best deck in Modern, but it is the sweetest deck in Modern.
That can't even be true.
It's not quite as fun as it was last year. The deck's a little bit more like polarized in its draws because of Creeping Chill, so you don't get as many of the fun scrappy games. That's really why I enjoyed it.
Here's a from the booth hot take. I think that Martyr decks are the coolest decks in this format because everyone's doing these degenerate things, and then there's just a life gain deck that is actually pretty good against a lot of the decks in the format.
It won a PTQ like 6 months ago or something, and
it timed out almost all of its opponents.
That's gas.
That was the strategy. It timed
No
out
way.
all of its control opponents. None of the control opponents could actually win. It just timed everyone out. Yeah, it timed out at least two of the top 8 opponents.
I've played a few leagues with the Martyr deck. Actually, I tested it out maybe 6-7 months ago. And it was surprisingly good.
Before this game, this is actually a really cool question. I like this one. Kern Owls asks, who is your favorite Magic players to play with or against? It's Magic Pro, I guess, for like matches or teams. Yeah, so both. Shoot.
I really like playing games against Tom Ross when he's on the ball and playing one of his like signature decks.
Mm-hmm.
And those games are always just super sweet. I really like testing with you because you just are like very good at figuring out like sideboard plans and things like that. But the most fun games I've ever played have been against Tom.
Awesome. Ross?
I am going to say Reed because he communicates very well and very clearly, and I value that very highly when I'm playing in a tournament. I always try to communicate well. I hate people that just sort of like point and tap everything. It's just a headache I don't want to deal with. Reed is always very clear and very precise. Yeah, and obviously the games are very good. He plays. No,
Reed
well.
Is a one of a kind class act.
Right.
Who's your favorite teammate?
Brennan DeCandia.
Moving on, let's play Magic. No, I'm kidding.
I'm still thinking about mulliganing the sand. It's really good if I draw another land. I think it's a keep. But let's get the game on.
All right.
It's just so good if I draw a land. That was the worst possible.
Yes.
Shriekhorn, pass.
Oh, sorry, we have to pause it. Nykthos is asking. We need my answers.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yes,
all right.
pause.
Yeah. I will also answer. My favorite opponent is Reed Duke. Not close. We've played now, I think, including SCG and Pro, at least about 10 times. And he's got a winning record, a pretty significant winning record against me. But a lot of our matches are big ones, like the big moments, like the Players' Championships, quarter or semifinals, like GP semifinals, deep into day 2s, Worlds. I played them many times, and they're always just these like really close 3-game sets every time. Favorite teammate has got to be my non-local friend Brian Brown and Todd.
Yeah, I'm dope. So I just want to point out Ross milled
Ooh,
2 lands after saying he really
I've
needs
seen.
a
I'm not
land.
paying attention. We saw that, Todd. Someone yelled, "Judge, what are you doing over
I
there?" Todd?
accidentally started searching my deck with Angel Stirrings, and then I put it down and did top 5.
Oh, sure, yeah. That's
I don't.
fine.
It's not like I have a photographic memory. I don't know what the bottom 10 cards of my deck are. And honestly, I don't care. My hand's great.
Tan and Grace with the statement. I'll have to talk with Ross. Anyway, we'll get back to the games.
Pass turn, really?
Ooh.
I didn't draw land. I milled 2 lands and drew another loam.
You should have known better, Ross.
What do you want from me?
All right, crack this.
I had 2 draw steps to draw land, have a good hand.
Green floating.
Maybe I should have mulliganed. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's seen what happens when I play Dredge on Versus Live. I always crush them at game 1, and then game 2 and 3, my draws are just non-functional.
Cool.
That's just not true. I remember our Dredge week.
That took 2 matches until we got to non-functional. Ooh, I have an Archimedes now.
Trigger on the stack thinking.
Oh.
That's fine.
Go to my draw step.
Yeah, take all your stink. I don't know. Take all your stink items. Whatever.
Should have taken an Archimedes, but I had 2 more in my hands.
I don't care if you cast them.
Well, the good news is my top card was not a land, so like
Ephro with the burn. Shock Todd's favorite opponent isn't Ross, considering how much he enjoys winning.
What? I beat Ross all the time.
yeah,
No, that's the
that was
joke.
the joke.
That's the joke he was making. Like, Ross should be your favorite
Oh, I
opponent
see,
because
I
you
see,
enjoy
I see.
winning so much.
I see. Good one, Ephro.
Uh,
The best jokes are the ones that people have to explain.
okay,
It was worded well.
draw for turn.
Yep.
That is also not a land, and I'm dead to the Ugin and Todd's hand.
No, you're not. Look, I let you do your stupid,
Okay.
dumb stuff.
I'll let you play the
Do you have
game
a
out.
cathartic reunion in hand?
Yeah,
And you,
obviously.
is your hand busted if you draw land?
I mean, it's pretty good. Now that I missed multiple turns, it's not attack you for 1, though.
No, that came into play.
No, it
came
came in on
instead.
your end step.
You're
Or
right.
on your second main phase, actually.
You're right.
Hold on, I have to go to discard.
Cool.
Discard this Bloodcast.
Plus on that thing.
Sure.
Let me do my Tron stuff.
Second main.
Tron stuff.
Land place.
Tron stuff. Look, this is what you get for playing Dredge. I guess I'm playing Tron. I can't really talk. I didn't want to.
Go to
though.
discard.
All right. Zap you. 17. I guess we'll play this as like a just in case something really bad happens. And I guess if nothing bad happens, I can activate and pop Canopy. So go.
These are my favorite moments on Versus Live when Todd's opponent wants a scoop and he's like, "No, we have to play it out," and then he knows the game's over immediately.
Huh? What?
Huh?
I was
What?
I was in Magical Christmas Land
Yeah.
over here. Very happy that Ross was doing nothing. All right. You did it. 2 blood gas or 3 blood gas.
I'm not going to return them.
Great. Okay.
Cathartic, discard 2 lumps.
Cool. Your deck's sweet. Why didn't you bring back like 2 blood gas or 1 blood gas? Also, I'm just gonna ultimate now that you didn't bring back any blood gases.
Well, no matter how many Bloodcasts I brought back, you were going to ultimate.
No, if you brought back all 3, I might have minused. Never know.
Pass.
All right, let's put a counter on Ugin. Karma die. And then we'll draw a
What is it?
card. Draw a card. All right. Let's. I haven't done this in a long time, so we're gonna minus 10. So I'm gonna gain 7 life. All right, put me at 24. Draw 7
Why
cards.
were you at... you 25, you mean, from the surgical? Or did you take a paint off Canopy?
I don't know, man.
You hit him with Narcomoon once.
You did hit me
Oh,
once
yeah.
on me. 17. So
Okay,
I'm
24.
All right, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you put up to 7 permanents from your hand on the battlefield. That's cool. Okay, well, all these lands are just coming right in. Wow, that was actually a really bad ultimate. Hold on.
We got a shot.
1, 2, 3,
Oh, with
4,
an-
5, 6.
Do you really have a shot?
I don't know if his hand is that bad.
Get your graveyard.
Okay, now I'm dead.
What? No! What's in your hand?
Todd, the only person here with all of us and everyone watching that wants to continue this game is you.
Oh, yeah. I know. That was the joke. Look, I have a feeling I'm just going to get punked on in game 3. Ross literally did nothing. And it took me a long time to win.
Did it take you a long time to win? You cast an Ugin on turn 4, and the game ended.
No, it didn't. If you'd drawn a land and you went crazy with Cathartic, you could get to the point where you get to conflagrate my Ugin.
Probably should have just mulliganed that hand.
Yeah.
I'd been looking at it for too long.
All right. Any questions for David Pumpkins?
Any questions?
Any questions? Yes, several. Wait, there's an S now in his middle now? What does the S stand for?
If he's anything like Harry Truman, nothing.
T-Paz is asking, when is the Brad, Todd, and Ross podcast going to be a thing? I could see that coming out.
What happened to your other announcement that's very similar to that?
Oh, that we're not announcing that soon.
Oh, never mind.
Not yet.
Nothing. Didn't.
We're taking a
say
long
nothing.
runway to make sure it is great.
Sure. Oh, you're mulliganing? Yeah,
Yep.
that sucks. I feel bad. My hand is sneap. Sometimes when you're so far ahead, you just start like humming the Underpants Gnome song. That's what I do. Because everything just kind of fades into the background. You're like ultimate, your Ugin, your opponent's picking their cards up. Like you know, you're drawing 7. What are you doing? I don't know. Doesn't matter.
That is the smartest thing you've said so
Viral
far.
Drake does ask while we're shuffling, are you playing in Baltimore? If not, what would you play? So you don't have to answer what you'd play if you are playing.
Right.
Okay. I am going, and I am either going to play Arclight Phoenix, Krarkline Ironworks, or Bant Spirits.
All right, Todd.
I am probably not going because I was traveling for a week straight and I just want to be at home for the weekend.
Understandable.
But if I was going, I will likely be playing the really weird Temur Hollow One deck that I'm going to be writing about in my article on Thursday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I am going because I do not get to play that many open, so I'm very excited about playing this one.
Cool.
And I am undecided between Jeskai Control, Bant Spirits, and standard side events. And I'm not kidding.
Honestly, you can't go wrong with standard side events.
I know. I'm not
The Infinite
kidding.
Challenge badges are some of the best value you get on any circuit. And on top of that, standard is great.
I've been having a lot of fun, and I
Modern
can bring
sucks.
multiple.
Just kidding. Until they unban my Splinter Twins, I don't want to play it.
Can we get another poll as to whether I'm going to 5 here? Or do I get
Just go to 6. I have a turn 1 Graph Digger's Cage. You get 6.
No, you go to 5. You've already won a game with your deck, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a sideboarding game. You go to 5. With a deck like Dredge, you go to 5.
If you were playing Bant Spirits in this video, you could go to 7.
Reprint and Fetch Lines is asking, how's the Jeskai versus Dredge matchup? Terrible game 1, but with a good sideboard, you can win. I did beat it in Atlanta.
So sometimes I don't play my turn 1 Graph Digger's Cage, and I always get punished, so I'm just going to do it. Nice. Green. Ah, crap, I already have one of those. Ancient Stirrings. Top 5 cards. Man, now I'm starting to see why people like this deck. It just does this every time. I mean, why would you play anything else? Does it every time. Got one of your hate cards, turn 3 Tron. Your opponent mulligans the 5 randomly for some stupid reason, you know?
Oh, sorry. I'm really active in chat.
Oh no, it's fine. Or are you conceding?
No, I'm putting the lands in my hand.
What life are you at for the director?
18, I've fetched twice.
Are you mad right now?
You
I
can
feel
go.
like you're really mad, and it's giving me strength.
There was a dead look in his eye there. It was pretty good.
Whew. All right. Well, we don't have Karn in our deck. So make a green. So I have green and 1 floating. Ooh. All right, floating 1. I'll play Thragtusk and gain 5.
Yep.
25. Your turn.
Well, myself.
Nice. Dude, you're doing it.
Should have been doing that before for these loams.
He's just too defeated.
Right. Mill myself.
If it's not clear, Ross does not have a way to kill Grafdigger's Cage in his hand. And this is why Modern's stupid. I take it back. Modern's great. Everyone who plays Modern is great. Tron's great. Dredge is great.
Splinter Twin band, great.
No, Splinter Twin sucks. If I'm literally only saying lies.
I guess I'll just get the other Blood Crypt. Usually the second crypt. I didn't look super close to the mana base. So I'm at 17 now.
I'm at 25.
That's correct. That is a truth fact.
A truth fact.
Let's get these lands back. Pass the turn.
All right. Attack you for 5.
13.
All right. I guess I don't know, man. Ugin, shoot you for 3.
I'm at 10.
Cool.
Should you be at 9? You fetched 3 times, got it for 5.
Yes,
I had him going to 18.
I'm at
I think.
9. He's right.
Okay.
I
I
fetched 3
missed the
times.
fetch. Whatever. I think the first one you shocked, but I could be wrong. Underpants gnomes. Underpants gnomes. Yeah, great.
Pass the turn.
Cool. Whack you for 5.
Actually, I should play this land.
Sure.
I'm at 8. Or 4, I mean.
Can you
I
win
don't-
this game?
I'm sure he can win this game if he kills this, and then he can maybe go ballistic. So, I'm going to do my best to keep that from happening. Thank God. We just ended it. That's all I wanted. Just did
One walking ballista.
Yeah. All right.
Yes. Play ballista on 4. Kill me.
Shoot you for a bunch. You got anything? What's in your hand? You have anything good? Okay. All right, I'll stop. I'm just trolling because this is, this is modern.
Huh?
This is what
He's
people
got
like.
He's got one cage.
This is what the people really like. This format.
They're starting a conversation because of Todd's little salty rant. A new conversation has picked up.
I just needed to mulligan that hand in game 2
Yeah.
and give myself a better chance to close it there.
So, Todd, we're gonna have to desalt you a little.
No,
bring you
I
back
just
to reality.
won very
All right.
easily. I'm good.
And one of the best statements out of here was Todd is destroying an OP deck with sideboard hate, but wants to play an OP deck that doesn't lose to sideboard hate, which is very true. But one of the things that people are talking about because of that, where you're saying that this is why I don't like modern, and it all kind of turned into the conversation that I find very interesting about Magic is, does diversity equal fun?
No.
But that is a big conversation. That's a big argument when it comes to modern.
So diversity is fun in a certain respect. It does not equal fun gameplay, but it's fun to have to adapt and play a bunch of different matches rather than playing the same matches over and over again. Like that is something that's very nice, especially if you're going to build in a format like Modern where people build a deck and play it for 6 months, play it for a year, play it for multiple years. Is really nice to not have to play the same matchups over and over again, week after week at your local stores or even at opens at whatever you play. So that aspect of it contributes to fun. It is not the totality of fun, and it is very important for a non-rotating format like Modern to have that diversity. And it was part of the reason that Splinter Twin eventually got banned, is that it was just a tier 1 deck for 4 years straight.
I mean, you could make that argument for a lot of decks in that format, though. But look, all right, I'm just going to concede the point. Ross's biggest argument for keeping Splinter Twin banned, and this is the same reason why I think Stoneforge Mystic should probably stay banned, is that the opportunity cost of building your deck around Splinter Twin or building your deck around Stoneforge Mystic is non-existent. You have to slot 10 cards in your deck. The rest of your deck gets to be interaction. Same with Stoneforge Mystic.
The opportunity cost is playing Izzet colors, which is great modern colors.
Yeah, I mean, you just have a lot of diversity in your spell suites and your removal suites. You can choose to be more interactive or more linear. You can choose to build your there were Splinter Twin decks when the very first Splinter Twin deck didn't play Snapcaster Mage. It didn't exist.
Yeah, it was a combo deck.
Yeah, it was just straight up Splinter Twin combo. It looked like the standard version that had like a bunch of Ponder, Preordain, and it literally just went like Remandia, Cryptic Commandia, whatever combo kill you. And after Sideboard had some Blood Moons maybe.
Spell Skates and things like that.
Yeah.
Let's get off the twin thing. We've talked enough about that.
But let's talk
I'm
about
agreeing with you.
Yeah, I know, and that's well and good. But we've talked enough about that. Where the question was about diversity in Modern.
Sure.
I think it's important specifically for Modern. Standard has a built-in failsafe where if things get stale after a while, it'll change in 3 months, and it rotates every.
Should I just come back over there?
All
right, chat. This will be our last question before we go on break.
So it's less important for Standard to be super diverse. It's fine for you to have a metagame that's only 3 decks, maybe 4 decks.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's 5, and maybe even less than that. Maybe there's really just 2 top decks and then a couple tier 2 decks. That's fine because every 3 months things shift around because a new set comes in and every year things rotate. So in terms of fun in Modern, diversity is a big part of it because people are playing the same deck over and over again. So they want to have a diverse range of matchups and be pulled in different directions. In Standard, it's more important for the individual gameplay between those top decks to be fun, for those games to be interesting, for there to be a lot of different ways to approach them or different ways to build in terms of matchups. And we have that right now in Standard, and it's why the format is so popular.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really about understanding the fundamental difference between how Standard works as a format and how Modern operates as a format. And you have to think of fun differently depending upon which format you're in. And so the diversity for Modern is very important for it, but it would not translate as well into Standard. So not necessarily, need to.
So I think one thing that gets muddled up with the Modern argument of like diversity and health is I actually think diversity in Modern is a great thing. The less competitive the format gets, the more competitive, the bigger the stakes are, right? Like that once you get to like opens and invitationals and Grand Prix and stuff like that, that's where I think like you can't really argue about diversity. You have to look at the other things about the format, like hate and how linear the games are and how unfun some of the games are in this format. And some of the games are great. But sometimes like matchups just, like I dodge matchups. Like when I played Jeskai in Atlanta, I went in with no prep, but my opponents would go turn 1 Noble Hark, and I was just like, well, I win, right? Like I have bolts in my hand. I'll keep hands that can't beat anything but creatures. But I'm just like, well, that's what my deck's supposed to do. So I'm just going to keep this. And if I'm not in that matchup, then I die. Like that kind of stuff is like, it's whatever. It's an argument. I get it. But I don't like the argument just saying it's fun because it has more decks.
Yeah.
So my issue with saying that like Modern is a diverse format is that there's a caveat to that statement. You can have deck diversity in that the strategy is, or the cards themselves are actual different, right? Like but you get to a point where strategies are doing basically the same thing in a slightly different way than another deck, utilizing either the same card or something very similar. And it's kind of annoying to me personally when you say like, yeah, the format's really diverse, but really it's just Noble Hierarch decks, Ancient Stirring decks, Faithless Looting decks, and then a handful of other things. And that's when you get to like the super high tier of tournament play where the cream kind of rises to the top. But if you really just look at the results over the past like 6 months, you're just going to see a ton of Noble Hierarch, a ton of Faithless Looting, a ton of Ancient Stirrings, and then just like way less of everything else. And that bothers me.
Well, but if you look at like the years of evolution, like the format is evolving a lot.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of control decks over the summer and into the spring, which don't play any of those cards. You're going to see there was like the brief period where Bloodbraid Elf was really popular. Right after that was unbanned. But I do agree it does narrow at the top, especially you see that when it's played at high levels, and that is an issue that's a bug, not a bug of Modern, but it's a downside of Modern.
Ancient Terrain is definitely a bug of Modern.
Yeah,
It's not a feature.
it is a downside that it has, but that if you're going to abstract it and say that these decks fundamentally do the same thing, even if they might use some different cards and they overlap with some key cards, like you can do that in basically every format. How many macro archetypes exist in Magic? There's aggro decks, combo decks, control decks, mid-range decks, tempo decks, and prison decks.
And then they all muddle together.
Yeah, they muddle a little bit, but if you really wanted to make 6 categories, there's probably those 6. So you can roughly put every single deck that has ever existed in all of Magic in one of those 6 categories. Or say it might blur the boundaries of 2. And so how diverse can a format really get? If you're going to abstract to that level, it can't get beyond 6. And right now we're sitting at probably 4 in Modern, with Ancient Stirrings fueling mostly big mana decks, but occasionally combo decks. Faithless Looting fueling mostly combo decks. Noble Hierarch fueling aggressive decks, and then the control decks that don't play any of those cards. So we're seeing 4 out of 6. That's pretty good, especially when WotC goes out of their way to not have prison decks exist.
Yeah, that's fair. Look, I'm not arguing against the format in general. I think that it's great that a lot of people have fun playing it. I very regularly have a lot of fun playing it. When one of the decks I like is doing well, it's a treat because you get to play a lot of really cool games against a lot of different decks and a lot of different people playing these decks, and that's something to cherish when it comes to Magic, especially when we've had such a bad standard format for the last year and change, and now we're getting like a good format, and now I'm starting to feel spoiled. And like I come back to Modern and I just see like, oh great, it's all Amulet Titan, Tron,
Just going back to chat,
Advanced Spirits, and it really and then we come to ban restricted season, and it just brings back so many good memories of playing Splinter Twin, and then I just get sad. I get sad.
I understand that relative to Standard, where Standard is in an absolutely excellent place right now, Modern looks comparatively worse, and I think it's taking heat because of that. But the one thing that I don't like, what people complaining with Modern, is saying it's always all linear decks, whereas I think it often just shifts between metagames that are dominated more by fair decks when we're at a point where people have figured out how to combat the linear decks that exist, and then you have to react to the fair decks, and it gets a little bit more linear, a little bit more unfair. Mm-hmm. And right now we're in an unfair portion of the metagame. Control decks are way down. We still have the disruptive aggressive decks that are around, but the linear decks I think are a little bit better on the whole. And it's going to come back around. Give it a few months, it'll rotate, and we'll roughly get into more of a fair stage. Maybe it's people figuring out shadow decks that are typically good against linear decks. A lot of disruption, pretty good clock.
Yeah, I mean, and if a deck like Humans or even Advanced Spirits like start falling off completely, like something like Death Shadow could really slip in easily and punish all of these very linear, non-aggressive decks.
I hate to cut it off after this is a good conversation, but we are going to have to go to break because we have another match, a very exciting one, where we have to talk a lot about Arclight.
Yep.
And you're going to have to talk about how you came to your deck choice. Talk about the other versions of it and what do you think like the best ones are moving forward. But we are going to, before that, take a 10-minute break. So thank you everyone who has been watching. We'll be back in 10 minutes to play, what's it called? Hardened Scales Affinity versus Grixis Arclight Phoenix.